Hello, I'm Choi Ying. Welcome back. Yes, your expression of self. Today is amazing. I actually have someone here, been a great friend, great student also, and there's a lot of things that she's sharing for the very first time. So I want to welcome her, Holly Finnegan.
Thank you for having me. So, why are we here, Choying?
I, I've been asking for a testimonial for 2 years.
Yes, and that's why we're here.
And I want to hear not just a testimonial about me, really about what how this work and what does the work looks like and what does meditation is have helped you and what you have evolved from your own experience. That's what I love to hear.
Yeah, so the testimonial it's so hard to put into writing for me anyway because I'm not a writer. I'm not somebody who can sit down and express what I'm feeling into words. So that's why it's been 2 years since I've done this. Um or I tried to do it at a couple points, but now we had a meditation today that prompted me to really feel it, and so this is my 2 year testimonial. So when I first started coming 2 years ago, it was really about wanting to just calm my mind because I had so much going on in my head, so many thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and just wanted to calm my mind. And when I finally reached out, came to meditation, and when we talk to other people now, and over the course of 2 years, I've learned that to get to the point that I'm at now is really doing the work. And 2 years ago, I didn't realize I was doing the work, but I was. When I first came, I wanted to calm my mind. I wanted to understand. I wanted to learn where it was coming from, what to do, how to clear it. And, I had been on medication in the past, and I think I was on it when I first came here 2 years ago, just for, the emotional side of thing. Um, and when I started coming, I remember like I would start to ask you questions and you would answer them. And they were so far above me. I had to reword it in a way for me to understand it. And I would say it back to you. And then you would say, yes, that's what I mean, or no, that's not what I mean. And I'd have to reword it again. So over the course of 2 years, I've learned, and this morning solidified it for me, that meditation, the meditation that you teach, is not just sitting and calming your mind. It's really diving in deep, and it's light warrior work. And this morning solidified that for me. And I'm sure we'll go into that later, but um, it really, it really is diving in deep. And there's a lot of other teachers out there, famous teachers, that will teach meditation, and guide you through certain things. There is no right or wrong, as you always say. It's just you have to find what resonates with you and how you work internally. Meditation is a practice to sit and be at one with yourself in calm peace. You take it to the next level. You take it to the next level of diving in deep into your thoughts, then diving in deep into the esoteric side of it, where you become your own light warrior inside as you're meditating, and just literally knocking things out. And by things, I'm sure we'll talk about more about that. But that's just a little nugget of my 2 year testimonial.
Wow. Well, thank you. That's pretty amazing. It's pretty honor, even for me to share this to people like yourself and others that want to really be in the power. And two things that I wanted to ask you that I heard, which I totally love about it, which we all talk about it too. Before I want before you go into your actual today's meditation. That's really powerful for, especially, this is the stuff that I want to actually get out there for people, not just a, I use the word service level meditation. It doesn't go anywhere for me, service level meditation, but there is a foundation that it took me a lot of years to progress through a very, just sitting through meditations.
I
Sitting.
think you have to have that foundation. We talk about that a lot about, 2 years ago, if I would have come in and you would have talked about, tried to train me to be a light warrior in a different, plane in my head, and I wouldn't have understood it. 2 years ago, I needed that surface level meditation. And I think maybe a different word is just a foundation. That's the foundation that you build upon. Once you learn the meditation and kind of learn what it is, then you've learned it. You need to learn something else. I don't say you need to learn something else, but you desire to go deeper. And so I think that surface level, that foundation level of meditation is what starts it.
Exactly. And I think where those foundations is very important. And the reason why is not me training you. I always say I never really train you anything. I want to guide you, give you your own direct experience, right? So the difference with anyone, that if we only practice, it's not a level of judgment. If we practice here and there meditations once a week, once a month, 2 3 times a year, that still give you an experience, but don't give you that deep work experience where you consistently actually practice meditations almost daily, almost weekly, for an entire 2 years, for you to now experience, to know what I want to ask you. You say two beautiful things that where many other light warriors talks about doing the work, and what it's like for becoming light warrior, because you just experienced today. And what is the work like for you? And I want people to know, when we all say do the work, people don't really understand what is doing the work means.
Yeah, I was just having a conversation with that about somebody else, yesterday, I think it was, about doing the work. And um, I've had and this person said it as well, but that people come to her, and I've had people say to me, well, what do you mean? What do you mean by the work? So I want to back up just a little bit, where you always say that you don't want a testimonial about you and what you do. And I understand that, because what you do is you just guide people, and it really is the direct experience. And the direct experience is, if I showed you how to do something and you did it, you're just repeating what I'm showing you how to do. The direct experience is you guiding somebody. So, okay, I need you to pick up the screwdriver. I need you to pick up the piece of wood. I need you to pick up the screw, and I now need you to put it all together. That's the direct experience. And when you have that direct experience, you have more of a connection with it, and more of an understanding of it, a different level than if you were to just go step by step. And you can't go step by step with this, because what works for one person doesn't work for another. But so going back into the work that you guide people to do, it's, for 2 years I've been doing this with you, and there's so many people that we're connected with that are light warriors, and they talk about the esoteric side of stuff. And I'm just very, humble is not the right word, but I'm very, okay, well, I'm not really there yet, and I'm just very kind of shy about it and don't really understand what it is. And so the terminology that I use when light warriors talk about this stuff and do it, they're in their power. Me, I'm just kind of like shy about it. So I get really kind of like, I kind of like hunker down a little bit. But in doing the work, it's really the deep, basically owning your shit, you know, looking at what it is you're doing, what you're thinking about, how you're reacting. You know, we all have these this energy, this what is it, the I always want to say genealogical, but it's really ancestral, where, you know, the DNA that's inside me was inside my mom, that was inside my grandma, and like it's all DNA, and it's all carries forward. And then if you believe in past lives, you've got that as well. But we all have this stuff inside of us. You know, right now I'm 48, and I have 48 years worth of stuff that I've learned here on this earth, whether it be from my family or from school or from friends, you know, and certain things when I was younger and didn't have an understanding of interactions and relationships with people. And I'm talking about like in second grade. I'll give an example. You know, in second grade, a teacher could have came into the classroom and said, okay, now why is everybody just sitting around doing nothing? And in second grade, I heard that, and that made me feel really small, like I'm not doing a good job. And in second grade, you don't know, like you don't have a comprehension of that, and you carry that. That's just a small tiny example, but 48 years worth of interactions and not understanding um, not understanding the deep interactions between people. We carry all this stuff with us. So, you know, in our whatever age level we're at in our growth of, you know, our human experience or our, you know, our emotional experience, everybody's at a different level, but you carry this stuff, and the work is understanding how you are taking what you're carrying around with you and acting and reacting, and your patterns of doing certain things. Well, you're doing certain things, you start to understand these patterns, and it's not, okay, I'm noticing this pattern, and I'm noticing that this is not creating a positive environment in my head or in my heart or in my stomach, whatever it is. And you start to learn these patterns, and you start to break them. And then you start to kind of rewire your brain, retrain your brain, reintegrating it. And you're really just reprogramming everything to how you feel and you want it to be, rather than you have done it because that's how you were taught. Again, you're going back to that direct experience. 48 years, I've just repeated what's been taught to me without a comprehension and understanding, a deep understanding of what it is that I've learned. Now I'm going back and I'm looking at all this stuff, and that's the work, is really just owning your shit.
Wow. So you went covering incredible, sharing like the flow of really expressing the work, the direct experience, all the way to what light work is really cutting, owning, and being your power. And I love it. I was that way, where everything that I know internally and everything that I don't know internally, but not knowing how to navigate through it, I was being shy. I was being timid, getting shut down, and people sharing, projecting. But now I'm like, whatever. I know who I am. And when you begin to know who you are, then you able, what I really say now is, when you own your shit, knowing who you are and able to experience what's going on energetically, not just the mind, and feel, then that's when compassion begins to radiate, because then you're really able to relate people's pain. Otherwise, we'll never understand other people because we haven't understand ourselves. And that's what I say beyond meditations.
Yes. Yeah, beyond meditation, that surface level, that foundation, it's beyond that. That's the work. It's going beyond sitting and being quiet. It's learning to navigate internally in your mind, and I'm I'm always at a loss of words because I have the direct experience, but I don't have the vocabulary and to say what it is exactly that you do. But you just go. It's beyond the surface level meditation and going into understanding from an energetic level. And I think maybe that's a good transition. That's what this morning when I was meditating is the light warrior work, where in the past, I've been doing this for 2 years with you and doing the meditations with groups and the workshops and everything. And you have in the past, you talk about, and I've heard other people talk about it as well, being a light warrior and going in, and other people have said this to me as well, is going in and when you're meditating, pull out that golden sword and stand up to be 20 feet tall and just slice your way through stuff. And it's always been a challenge of mine to envision that stuff. And so over the course of 2 years, it's maybe happened a couple times, but this morning I sat down and meditated, and I started this dialogue with somebody that I was having, that I personally am having issues with. Not issues, it's not issues. It's I just had this dialogue with somebody in my meditation that led to other people in the, bringing other people in. And then I went into, I just grew myself into this big light warrior, and I pulled out my sword and started just chopping away at certain things that went way into the past. And I just chopped, and then I chopped, and I just like to obliteration, whatever that word is. And then all of a sudden I just chopped, and I kept going back into the past and into the past and into the past and into the past. I just kept going and chopping away. And then all of a sudden this entity that I was chopping up just blew up and just dissipated into these tiny, tiny, tiny little specks. And I could feel, and then I continued to give love and appreciation to people in my past about certain things or whatever. And energetically, I could feel myself just waking up, just become lighter, like my stomach area, my chest, and then I just became clear, like in my eyes and my head. And I was like, holy crap, this is the light warrior work. And now, like I said, I've had it happen a couple of times, but this morning solidified it, that what you do in your meditation and guide people to do is not just sitting down and meditating, even though you have to have that surface level foundation of meditation to learn to do that and sit and do that so that you can take it to the next level of this light warrior work that you teach.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. And the reason where I want more people to hear about this is not just the work that I do, but I want people to know that they have this incredible power, being that the Creator created us, created you, and everyone else, to give us this entire ability, everything we can create from our hand. But then we are living in a human experience that we have emotions, we have blockage, we have all of these things that suppresses us down, and talk about you got to be humble, you got to be small, and you got to give, you got to love. Those are all great part of it, but a lot of us, especially the work I do, is many of us been so suppressed or have traumas or have condition, we really walking around not knowing who we are. So light warrior is not like walking around like I'm powerful, I'm better than you. That's not what it's about. It's about owning, knowing your light inside. Your creator is inside, not outside of you. To be able to say, okay, let me sit down, let me learn a little bit of meditation. What is it to like to be sit for a few minutes a day, a night, and then slowly, gradually learning from navigating through the self love to learning the perceptions, the conditions, the knowledge. What is it coming truly from me? Or is it coming from the outside? It's a simple way. But because everyone is so different, everyone has a different gift and abilities and intuitive. So me guiding people, showing people, it's like, hey, you know what? Let's sit together for a little bit. You still have to meditate versus giving more instruction because people comes and looking for knowledge. It's the way we've been conditioned to learn. Give me the step. Yeah, okay, well, here's some simple stuff. So you can practice. So when you begin to practice over and over, then you begin to have those aha moments yourself, not from me, not from the instructions. Now you're able to like, I just felt something. I'm not sure, but you feel better.
You're like, yeah, that's it.
That's it. So go ahead.
And time after time after time again, you continue to, oh, now I get it. And then, 6 months later, oh, I thought I got it 6 months ago, but now I really get it. And you continue. It's just these little nuggets that you continue to build upon and release and let go. I want to go back and touch on, if it's okay, just real quick. You just mentioned about, it's not about being a light warrior, being powerful. It's not about being powerful and confronting and attacking other people, or I'm better than you. It's not about being better than anybody. It's actually the complete opposite. Is clearing what you have in you so that you can clear that away and give this gratitude, compassion, love, and appreciation to other people. And from a standpoint of you understand what they've gone through, and it's really this compassionate level, and being supportive there and holding space for them and help guiding them through their own stuff. And not that anybody has anything worse or better than anybody else. The stuff that I have, when we talk about trauma, you can take one thing, any one given quote unquote trauma. It might be trauma for somebody, but for another person, it might not be trauma. And it could be the tiniest little thing. But when you grasp that and hold on to that, to you, it's trauma. And it's the understanding of that and being compassionate that everybody has their own experience that they've gone through, regardless of what it is, how much it is, that to help them get to a point of releasing that for themselves.
Thank you. And I'd love to continue this on part 2 because we are running out of time. And what I want to do is I want to have the second part to share because how you have doing your own work, understanding, step into your power, you have evolved to amazing things that you are doing, sharing and giving, helping other people. And I want to hear about what you do. So other people can actually know how you evolve through simple thing as just meditations, beyond meditations. So
Yeah.
do you would like to continue?
On part 2, yes.
All right. Well,
so this is part 1 of Holly's testimonial.
thank you.
After 2 years.
All right. Thank you.